for that, boosting my attendees. If you want me one, I can remove one of them for you, or if you can close out, that's fine. But the the thing is we're about to be in the throes of earnings season. I'm going to go over some earnings reports that you need to be paying attention to, some notables, if you will. That's the word I was looking for. Some notables, if you will. So let's get into it. Before I begin, I'm not a commodity trading advisor. I am simply here to show you opportunity. What you do with that opportunity is all up to you, as well as you have to be aware of any and all risk, understand that risk, be willing to accept that risk and take on that risk. Any trades or anything that I show here tonight, if you decide to take those, just know they are of and on your own volition. And as well as if oh, that's it, actually. That's the disclaimer. So, really quickly, for those in here that this is your first time, is it anybody's first time joining, by the way? Anybody's first time joining the Sunday sessions? Let's see. Okay, good, good. A few of you guys. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining here. Look, I'll tell you a little bit about what this is about as well. Give you a little bit about me. My name is James Bishop. I've been in trading education for 15 plus years. Founder of I currently excuse me. I currently co-own a managed fund where we do individually managed accounts, basically like a hedge fund. Okay. Um, I also own a retirement and estate planning company as well. I have my MBA in finance and global portfolio management, and I'm working on a doctorate and should be finishing that up in hopefully a year or so in finance and economics, specifically on basically where I got my initial idea for my dissertation, it was stumbling across the statistic that from 2014 to 2024, the top 10% of wealth holders nearly more than doubled their assets, while the bottom 90% lost $4 trillion dollars in that same time. And I started looking into why, and there was only one real thing that was a separator, right? There was only one real thing that was a major separator, which was how they passed on their wealth, as well as which leads into what they use to pass on their wealth. And if you ever want to learn about that towards the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you guys a chance to have a one-on-one with me. I'll be sharing kind of that in one-on-ones as well. So I'll give you guys a link to book time with me there. Quick housekeeping. So I have two. One is the Discord that I share with you guys every week. Give me a second here. So we have a Discord channel. Let's see. Um, we have a Discord channel. I love what Stu has done here is really interacted in here, talking about things going on in the market, etc. So let's look at this. This is what I want to do. I am going to create an invite. Now these invites, I don't know why. They only last 7 days. So either use them or don't use them. That's okay. But I'm going to send you guys a link here to join this Discord channel. Now, what we do in this Discord channel is I'll post trades from time to time. If you guys have questions, you guys can ask me questions as much as you want. You guys can, let's see. So, what is Discord? Discord is basically a group. mm, it's like an invited group chat where there is a host and an administrator, which is myself. I'll be sharing trading alerts in this Discord. I'll be sharing fundamental news in this Discord. I'll be sharing a ton of different things in this, and it's a really good tool to learn and meet with others as well. So there are some Discord channels out there where they don't allow people to communicate together. I actually do allow that. I want you guys to be able to interact with each other. It's not only me that sees uh that sees the chats, right? So you guys can be a part of it. I also have a voice channel as well. And what the voice channel let me do, it actually lets me broadcast to the entire Discord any trades or things like that. So I will tell you that a lot of us are moving. Jim, that is hilarious. I don't want to share that because, everybody's offended by something these days. But that, my friend, is hilarious. Um, so the Discord channel, it's open for you guys to join. Click that link, join right now. So a two-way communication platform. Yeah, basically, it's kind of like Telegram, text messaging, group chat, whatever you want to call it. But I'll tell you that we as a whole, are a lot of brands are moving away from Telegram into Discord because people are literally replicating our telegrams and then the telegram rooms and taking you guys as clients into them, and then they are literally create saying, "Hey, send me money," and people are sending them money and they're getting ripped off thinking that it's, Hubert or somebody like that. So feel free, go ahead and click the link that I sent out. I will send it one more again. When you do, you just click this and then it'll you'll plug in your information in there and then you'll be good to go. Let's see. May you have the link to Discord? Yeah. Copy. Did it not send? Here, I'll resend it. Where did it go? And Van, good to see you as well, buddy. Create invite, copy. Let's see. And oh no, what did I do? I don't know what's going on there. Copy. There we go. So there's the Discord link. Let me delete that other one. There you go. Perfect. From last week was PPTA the symbol from last week that Peter Thiel is an investor in? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So there we go. And you'll see it Sunday service sessions. I may put in like market update or whatever. That's just the big group that we're in. Okay. Daryl, good to see you as well, buddy. In from New Jersey. I love it. So, really quickly, the other is special sessions. Be on the lookout, guys. I've been in due to basically your guys' questioning and asking of individuals, I've been potentially I've been asked, and I'm gonna probably launch like a trading room that meets 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm gonna be sharing that out with you. There's gonna be an extremely low cost for this. It's gonna be like 19 or $27 a month, nothing crazy at all. We'll meet probably pre-market going into right as the market opens, and then we'll leave it from there and let you guys carry it through. We'll talk about news on those days. We'll cover fundamental announcements as they happen, if needed, and I'll send you guys updates as well. So that's going to be coming. Yes, there will be a small charge. I'm talking like, I don't know, anywhere from like 19 to $27 a month, maybe a little bit more. It all depends on how many people subscribe because that drives down the price that I have to pay to host for the technology to have this room. So with that, I'd be I love everybody, but I don't need that big of a write off. Okay. So be on the lookout for that. So let's do a brief check in with the world. announcements. This is straight from Forex Factory. So just to let you know, I put this list together here of the kind of major important ones that affect the US market. On July 22nd, we have Jerome Powell speaking. July 23rd, we have existing home sales. July 24th, we have unemployment claims. July 24th, we also have producer Purchasing Manager Index. We'll talk about that in a second. The 24th as well, we have new home sales. And then the 25th, we wrap up the week with durable goods orders. Now, if you want to go ahead and screenshot this, because I'm not around, if you can, just screenshot whenever you do screenshot this, type in done when you have it screenshotted for me. Type in done when you have it screenshotted. Let's see. Yes, Jerry, that's what we mainly focus on here. Um, I will, if you're in the room here with me, I will definitely cover kind of any Forex stuff that you want me to cover as well. Just most traders aren't trading Forex that much in here, right? Actually, you know what? Let's do a poll. Thank you for that. Brilliant idea. Um, what market or markets do you trade? So we'll go stocks, options, futures, crypto, forex, other. If I can make that a write in. No. Delete. All right, save and save as webinar poll, and I'm gonna launch that. So I just launched a poll really quickly. Go ahead and answer that really quick because I've never asked that. I'm just dictating and I don't like to do that. And you can check off as many as little as you do. It doesn't really matter. I just want you guys to answer that really quickly to see so I know how many and who is trading what and where our primary focus needs to be. So I got about 44% of you, 46% of you guys have answered that, 50%, 53, 55. Beautiful. I'm going to wrap it up in 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and ending the poll now. Sharing results. Stocks, options, and futures are absolutely the dominator denominator. They're the most traded in the room. So we'll continue to refine these answers, but it definitely looks like stocks, options, and futures is where we need to go. Cryptos and forex are on the lower end, but we'll still talk about them as well because I do know all markets are linked. So the other is earnings. So earnings wise, this week coming up, we have Alphabet, which is Google. If you don't know, it's the parent company of Google. We have Tesla, we have IBM, we have Intel, Verizon, AT&T, and Coca-Cola, as well as Blackstone, and I think that was it. So if you want to, go ahead and screenshot that and type in done when you got that. That way you have earnings there as well. These are my bigger notables as well. There's a ton. Like if I go into and look up earnings this week, it's like, I don't know, 100 and something. It's crazy. But we don't need to pay attention to every single company, right? The big ones are the big ones. So done again. Beautiful. All right. And now what we'll do is we'll go on a brief check-in with the news really quickly. So gonna dive in first. Last week, kind of the market kind of finished flat last week for the week, mainly because of tariffs and questions and this, that, and the other. Entertainment laggards like Netflix. Big tech was definitely higher. Tesla has been screaming back up. Dollar index was down 0.2%. Gold finished up 0.4%. Bitcoin futures were down. WTI settled down, reversing some early strength. Let's see. Fed Waller continued to make the case for a July cut, though other Fed officials this week maintained their wait and see cases. Now, here's the reality of it. Okay, is you know we have not seen what the impact of the tariffs will be fully, mainly because most companies ended up getting a overstock of supply prior to tariffs being put in. And so we haven't hit that, hey, we have a full tariff load. And here's the way you can tell. Okay, if you go to and look up like what's called the import export list, or if you look up tracking of shipping containers, you'll see that at the Port of America, which is in Southern California, they are well under the number of ships that they normally have received by this time of the year. Same goes for Port of Miami. Same goes for all up and down the Eastern Seaboard, as well as in the Gulf, in Houston as well. The Gulf of America, is that what we call it these days? And or Mexico, depending on what you want to call it. So we have there's fewer shipping containers being or shipping container ships being shipped here. Thus, that leads us to know that hey, there's not a lot of ordering that has happened, so there is an oversupply, which is it'll trickle out, over probably the next 3 to 6 months, right? The next 3 to 6 months, we'll probably see inventories get so low where they will have to really refill those inventories and things like that. We also know, unless you were living under a rock or not watching the news, that we continued on with the Trump Powell feud. One of the funniest videos I have ever seen in my life, which was President Trump, saying, "I don't know why Jerome Powell was appointed. He was a Biden appointee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." Well, that didn't age well because he must have forgot that in 2017 it was he who appointed Jerome Powell. So that was quite hilarious to see. I just love those types of videos, whether it's Biden or whether it's Democrat or Republican. I don't care. It's just funny to me, right? I don't care really either way. We have escalated demands in EU trade talks, pushing for a 15 to 20% minimum tariff, rejected 25% sectorial duties on autos. Beset in Japan for talks said a good deal is still possible. Several high profile earnings disappointments today through overall season is coming in better. We saw housing starts came in at 1,321,000, which was above consensus. Sentiment is slightly above as well. Let's see. And notable gainers, CRISPR Therapeutics. We've talked about it in here. We've talked about it, talked about it, talked about it. That is one of those companies that I just think is a nearly a buy and hold. And we've talked about ARKG and why you should be in that, and we'll talk about it a little bit more today as well. Then we had Trump courts Beijing and dials back most aggressive members as China hawk lose influence. Then also we had China rare earth magnet exports to U.S. surge in June after trade deal, seeing 660% month over month jump. Well, of course we would see 660% month over month jump when it goes from zero. They're gonna really, really do a lot of importing just in case. See, how many of you guys are very familiar? Let's see. It is Van. Are you sure? Let's see. Did Trump appoint Jerome Powell? Let's see. 2010. Ah, here you are. Yes, it was. No, it's not a fake. Look, here it is. President Donald Trump nominated Jerome Powell to serve as the chairman of the Federal Reserve, replacing Janet Yellen at the helm of the central bank. So, yeah, he did. So, that was, that was that thing from the White House lawn. Um, and let's see, this other one here that I was talking about. So when it comes to shipping and operate, supply chains operations, right? Um, there are two schools of thought. There's one called a just in time, and then there's another called, yeah, I think it's just in case, JIC and JIT. Now, in the US, as well as Toyota, the Toyota way of manufacturing, the TOYDA, Toyota, the family that created Toyota Motors, they have been in manufacturing for the generations. And they built this down to a T with this just in time supply chain management. What it allows people to do is make less of investment up front and not have so much backstock that could where things could go wrong, or if design changes or different parts need to be implemented, then you don't need all this backstock because you can't repurpose it and you can't resell it. So what they did was, they created that JIT, or just in time, um, supply chain operations management system. And Henry Ford literally sent people to Toyota to learn how to do this. And that's what made him the biggest car manufacturer in US history. Still to this day, there's nobody that has output as many vehicles as he did on a daily basis. It was something like 2 million vehicles a day were produced at his plant. And now, granted, there was very little, competition, but hey, still. The other is called just in case. And what this is like you would get a back stock of stuff just in case something happened. And so what we're seeing is and I actually talked with one of a very, very, very accomplished individual who is left his seventh billion-dollar company and finally retired and has been in supply chain management forever. Literally wrote the main books on it as well. And I was able to speak with him, and he was telling me that what he's seen is that companies are switching from this JIT model to the JIC model because they don't know what's going to happen with the tariffs. And so they want to make sure that they don't lose stock of something cheap, right? If they can lower their costs and then raise their costs slowly, it makes it, it's like a frog in boiling water, as he said. You don't notice the temperature change. Versus if, like, we went to the store on a Monday and a sweater was $30, and then on Tuesday it was $75, we're going to be like, whoa, I'm not buying that shirt anymore or sweater anymore, right? Let's see. So there's an airline that are an airplane company warning US of $9 million price hike due to tariffs. And then if we look at central banks, Kevin Hassett raises Fed independent questions as he emerges as the leading Powell successor. Let's hope that we do not, we keep the Fed independent. Fed rate cuts placate Trump could backfire, undermining inflation fight and Trump's debt goals. ECB likely to hold steady on interest rates. And then NVIDIA warns customers of limited supply of its H20 AI chips. And that's kind of the biggest news, which takes us into the analysis time, right? So I already know a couple of stocks that we want to look at here. PPTA, ARKG, ARK. Okay, what other stocks would you guys like to look at? Yes, this is Tyson's Fib Mastery. I'm going to be using several different systems all throughout this. So do not worry about that. Let's see. Let's see. So, Jim, that is currently, right? In 1923, annual production of the Model T Ford reached the astounding rate of 2 million cars in that year. So, at one point, he was producing 2 million cars. I'm telling you, guys, look, you might understand. I know a thing or two in this world, okay? So, TSM, TLN, KLAC, ALAB, is that what it is? KTOS. Let's see. JOBY, CVX. Van, anything you want to see, buddy? Oh, okay. My apologies. If I said day, year, my apologies. I do apologize about that. It's been a long day and it's been a short year. How about that? Let's see. BITO. Got it. Jerry, anything for you? Anything for you, Jerry? CAD Swiss. Let's see. All right. And Daryl put in BMNR. All right, cool. We're gonna try all of these. There's a couple others that I want to look at as well. Some notables that we've talked about here. And we're gonna look at those and as well. So I'm gonna start here. Palantir. This is always a favorite. So Palantir on the daily chart. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, what is on the chart right now is hedge fund trender and market energy buying and selling. Okay, hedge fund trender and market energy buying and selling. Now, these two tools I absolutely love. I use all the time. I'm not here to sell you a daggum thing here today, though, right? So, just understand that these are the indicators I'm using. I'm going to be switching through several different ones as we look at these charts, though. As you can see, Palantir, right, we had its pullback and then we had this massive rally back up to, the 153 mark. And it did our quintessential, hey, new stock coming out, going public from back in the 2020 era. We shot up, pulled back, shot up, pulled back, and then we kind of hung out for about a year and a half, and then we took off, took off like a bat out of heck, a bat out of hell, if you will. Now, both we see that buyers are still in control here, and we have the buying opportunity, but we do have a red candle. And then something else I want to look at, like if you use your standard fibs, so we had a D extension reach there, and we just reached a D extension here, which tells me that there's going to be a potential pullback. Now, Tyson has created this fib mastery system, right, which shows kind of where you should anticipate a pullback to. What he typically does is say, hey, look, we are in the red zone. That tells us that we need to sell, and we're just going to sell when we get, into the blue zone somewhere. So you could be looking at a short-term put of from 151 to like 140-ish or so. It could fall as low as, 132 in this tiny little gap that was created in the market late last week, or earlier this month, I should say. But there is a selling opportunity. And I do believe that kind of Monday, Tuesday, we will see that selling opportunity and that pullback happen. And that will kind of overlay itself, if where we're at right now at 153, I could easily see a pullback to 136, but you may want to close out of that trade earlier. Okay. So, great tool, as well. So, I'm just going to keep it kind of going here as well. So we got Palantir under our belt. We all know where we're going with that, right? Now, one that we asked about was PPTA. Now, this is a long-term hold for us. Now, cover me in powdered sugar and call me a donut, but if I don't if I remember correctly, last Sunday, when the market was right here at $14.54, I had said I thought this was a great buying opportunity into this week. Did anybody take this trade? Yes or no? Anybody take this trade? Yes or no? You like that? Sh- Cover me in powdered sugar and call me a donut. That's my one of my grandfather's specials right there. All right, I got a billion of them. So let's see. Deborah added to her position. That's awesome, Deborah. So yes, guys. So this company is one of those companies that I am a big believer in, mainly because of the people backing it. Okay, so let me just go in here. PPTA. This is a metals company, metals mining company. The main backer of this big company is this guy named Peter Thiel, okay, who, if you don't know who Peter Thiel is, he wrote the book Zero to One. He was part of the original, what they call the PayPal Mafia. They were the big PayPal crew. You have like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, so many. Peter Thiel, every investment that he's made, all of those stocks seem to just go high. I'm not going to say tinfoil hat moment, but they just typically do, okay? Um, Good company and especially what they're doing, right? They engage in acquiring mining properties with the intentions of exploring, evaluating, and placing into production. Um, they have a gold project coming up in Idaho. Um, and they have a whole lot of other companies as are, other types of mines as well. So let's see, all of these companies and the players in them are all in the same club, taking over everything. Hey, I'm not gonna say nothing here or there, right? I'm not here to do that one, right? But a nice little gain for the week last week. Now, buyers are still in control. I am gonna just take a quick gander here and we see that, hey, maybe there is a pullback coming from this. If we were to kind of anticipate and look at some fibs, there to there, there to there, we still have a little room up to go. Right, $19 is where we're looking to potentially go. We do have a gap that was created in here as well. So, am I 100% on the sell side of this? No, I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% there yet. If I get a red dot on my hedge fund trender to tell me to sell, absolutely, I'll be looking for that sell. If I see buyers leaving this market, then I will sell as well. Okay. Then I will sell as well. So that's just me personally. What I look for is I want to see sellers come out of this, or sorry, buyers leave. I also want to see a de-extension reached, or I want to see a sell signal from my hedge fund Trender Pro because they all work in conjunction really, really well. Now we did PPTA. Let's take a look at any questions on PPTA, yes or no? Any questions on PPTA, yes or no? Before we move on, going once, going twice. What questions do you have, Daryl? Let's see. So, Daryl, yes, I do believe they are a long-term hold for me. Okay, long-term hold for me. What you do them, it's all up to you, my friend. We're gonna take a look at Tesla now. So Tesla, literally, I absolutely love Tesla. Mainly because people think that they are a car company. They are not a car company. They are a data company. That was very evident after reading his biography a couple of years ago. And I honestly think Tesla will get back into this $600 mark. Absolutely do. Mainly because of, they have strong sales numbers. They'll continue to grow. Their cars are priced well, even though that uh what should I say? Even though that we are getting away from the subsidies on EVs here in the US, they're still, they are still growing, right? It's still the most popular EV. They still got long range, well designed, well created, etc. So, if we look at the Fibonacci from when we kind of made this low here, rallied up there, went from low there to up to high 1 2, nope, 1 2, yep. We had our pullback here. Our D extension is back at 434, which is exactly where I think we will get to. Maybe I honestly think we make it to 434. We're going to 5 600 again, and we will continue this rally. I'm still again. Not convinced of the. I think will we get a pullback? Yes. I'll actually go ahead and say this as well. Uh, is that this week I think that we get small pullback. Okay. Um, I think there is a small pullback in there. And I just don't foresee like I not like a 20-30% correction. I think we see like a 2-3% market pullback over a few days and then a rally. Especially going in kind of looking at the fundamental announcements this week, right? If we look, Monday, Tuesday, probably pullback. Wednesday, if we have good existing home sale numbers and that is higher than expected, then perhaps we'll see a bullish sentiment. If we get low retail sales and we get if we get high unemployment claims, my apologies, and we get high manufacturing PMI and low new home sales, then we will see that Thursday be a big pullback as well and a fall off in durable good orders, right? We will see a kind of fall off as well. Okay. So, yep, Bob, Tesla earnings is this week on the 23rd. You are correct. Pull back to 300 maybe on Tesla. Potentially, yeah. I could absolutely, totally fine with 300 on a pullback. Absolutely fine with that. Right at 304, there's a little level of kind of support right in this area, in this 304, 305 area. Let's see. And past seasonality. Good call there. Let me hold on. Let's see. I will look at that as well, Van. Give me a second. I'll get that pulled up on my other screen while I'm talking. But someone said, how do you feel about any Elon Musk risk in Tesla? Honestly, I don't feel about that at all. I think that's a bunch of Instagram and YouTube moments because when money is to be made, this is where money is made. They are a data company. They do have more data points for AI than any other company in the world at this point. Their AI is extremely advanced when it comes to this autonomous driving. Their autonomous driving is good, but I also look at the future of their robots as well. And their robots are going to be massive as well. Wow, that's weird. Okay, close. Because he is not going to be satisfied until those robots can actually thread a needle, right? Till they can thread a needle. Let's see. And so that will take over, manufacturing jobs, which will lower the cost of manufacturing, which will it'll also increase production. There's so many different things that will occur out of for good from this and that will make them extremely wealthy. And they're far ahead of other companies and their robots. The only one that is doing really well is there's a roofing company. They're not public, they're private. Amazon invested into them to install solar panels on all of their roofs, and they are just rolling through the roofs. Okay. If we go and we look and we want to see seasonality here, let's go. That's energy. Let's go SPY. Actually, we'll just do the SPY here. And well, if we look at seasonality, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. So right in here, this 19th, 20th, we generally peak up. We have a pullback from into like a small pullback, right? We can see like let me just use this annotation tool because it's out. But right here, where I just circled are small pullbacks, right? And then we rally up through the end of the month, and then another pullback going into August, and then September, October, and then we rally up to the end of the year, the Christmas rally, right? So mainly, right? Mainly small pullback. So there it is, supports my hypothesis, and I didn't even consult that. So good call. Didn't consult that either, and but hey, it is what it is. It's like I've been doing this a little while. Uranium. Okay, we're gonna check out uranium as well. Now, uranium has been on a tear, and nothing goes parabolic without pullbacks. Absolutely nothing goes parabolic without pullbacks. And so, what we will see is more than likely, we will get a pullback here, especially we reached a D extension. So if I'm looking for a pullback, I could see a pullback into $10 lower into these gaps where this market filled. Or I could see a pullback as low as, well, that gap's filled. That's 36 bucks. We could fall there. So it's either going to be $4 or it may be into these gaps, but keep an eye out, right? Into this blue area would be fine. We see buyers are starting to leave this. Sellers are selling is picking up here. Hedge fund trender, we did get a red dot there, which did lead selling, but then some buying going into Monday of last week to Friday of this week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some selling opportunity here as well. And nuclear energy, yes, we are. That's why the uranium has been on our watch list for some time, as is SMR, which are small nuclear power plants that can be put in countries like Hawaii if need be, right? SMR has been on our list for some time. If you have been in it, great. If you're waiting on the pullback, well, so am I. I took profits in this probably a little too soon. Okay. I took profits into this a little too soon, but to countries like Hawaii, yeah, that's true. I did say that, didn't I? Fun fact for you, Hawaii has, I'm gonna listen to the words I'm saying. Hawaii has three interstate highways. Interstate, interstate, in between state. What? Um, so didn't know they had those. Probably actually be surprised, Jerry. I'm sure there are on that island somewhere, and I bet you energy begins to go grow over there that way. But we are not. We haven't. I could anticipate seeing some selling volume enter in, this pulling back into this 35 area. Maybe even stopping at 39. Okay. Um, let's see. So there's no interstates there. Is that what you're telling me? So Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico also have interstate highways. It is what it is. Who knew? They have four interstate highways. So yeah, they do have interstate highways. It's just what it is. What can we say? Um, So, as I was saying, SMR, I think will pull back there. Let's see. Gino, we have not talked about Apple yet. Let's see. Let's take a look now. OKLO, let's see here. I know we talked about those OKLO a couple weeks ago. I talked about re-entering down in here when we had this blue dot here. We did get it. We haven't made a new high yet. So this could mean that we are entering in kind of like a down fib zone. Where we do end up in this 38.22 area or lower. So If we do pull back, I think my first entry point, to be honest with you, is going to be right about $45. I still have a couple of shares of this. I did not let sell it all. I just trimmed it down. So this will be a great opportunity as well if we do get this pullback this week, which I do anticipate us getting a pullback this week. I really do. Now let's go to BITO. Um, Bitcoin ETF, look, I think Bitcoin is on an amazing, amazing run. We saw it at 117. Or 122 was the peak high. We do know that, hey, sellers are in control right now. We'll probably see a pullback, maybe just back to this base at 111. So drop 5,000 bucks before the next rally. And so BITO, would I hold it? Yes. Would I buy more in? Not this moment. I would probably and more than likely wait until we get a pullback at 21.95 before I bought it. Now, we see that sellers are in control and selling energy is dominant right now. So that is what I would be paying attention to. If you are in BITO, another one I really like is ARKB. ARKB is Cathie Wood's Bitcoin ETF. It was actually the first Bitcoin ETF, and she got into Bitcoin at 232. They were in the UK before they got to the US, and because it took US regulators longer than UK regulators, so hence why but they were a large Bitcoin ETF. This I do own. And look, selling energy is dominant right now. Would I just dump it? No, I'll probably add to it. I'm probably not going to dump this, but I could see getting in at around $34 back where this support and resistance is, especially there. And ARKG. Now, for those of you guys that don't know ARKG, ARKG is what it stands for is genomic projects. So these are a particular group of companies like CRISPR Therapeutics that are using the human genome and the sequencing of the human genome to develop new medicines as well as methodologies of treatment. And it ties together the AI play as well as genomic mapping, which is something that I have been all into since I was a little kid when the human genome was mapped. I believe that was in like 99, if I remember correctly. And so I really do like this fund. And what I like about Cathie Wood is if you just type in like ARKG ETF on Google, so it'll bring you up to it. But if you go here, and you go to the page, you literally can read all of their research. She publishes what stocks are in there. She is not hiding behind anything here with this, right? CRISPR Therapeutics and the percentage of them, Tempest, Twist. So these are companies that, some people look, I believe this is where kind of the future of this is where technology and medicine are going to first meet, is in better production of, I think, in two different ways. And Van, you please correct me if I'm wrong. Van, absolutely. OKLO and SMR, they go great together. I have them both. Okay. So and Van, correct me if I'm wrong, right? The two ways I think tech and medicine are going to really, really merge well is one in differential diagnoses, right? Which is where you take all the observable and quantifiable ailments of a person, and generally the doctor then has to go through all of the information that they've read or, research what could be wrong with this person and then diagnose. And then if it's not this, it may be this. And if it's not that, then it's this. And then they prescribe medicine based on what that diagnosis may be. Well, one way is through AI being able to plug in those symptoms as well as help doctors go through better research once they get out of this like fake research thing, right? With AI. Maybe they create their own medical AI. And there is a company actually I do know doing that. It's in Series A funding, and a friend of mine is in it. I was helping him with that. Then the other area where I think that medicine and where medicine and technology meet is in genomic projects, where they can go in, sequence the human genome, find people that, okay, we can now identify which two or three protein strands are abnormal for this disease. If we can create a medicine that fixes those specific protein strands on this specific double helix, then we can then treat disease and cure disease faster, better, with less side effects. And that's where I think the future of medicine goes, right? Is those are the two where they kind of they get integrated, if you will. Okay, so that's why I think, look, and I will tell you, there's so many crap companies out there that go public, that are these penny stock companies that are getting promoted and email blasted to so many individuals out there, that and they lose a bunch of money unless you dump right when the people with, unless you sell all your shares right as the other people are, you kind of lose out. And that's where I like ARKG for investing in future of medicine. Okay, so I apologize. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. Great analysis and great caveat. Thank you for that. I do apologize for sometimes going on those random caveats with this, but this is couple of these are truly important to me, because I think this is where making in real investments and protecting capital, that's what my passion is, right? It's why I do what I do every single day, every single week, between the fund as well as, helping people protect and pass on wealth. It's funny. One of the tools I have, a lot of people don't know you're capped at $7,000 a year to what you can contribute to a Roth. And then additionally, you're also capped on the income that you or your family can, or you and your wife or husband or whomever you may be married to at the time, can contribute to that. And there's two tools that I have that you can contribute an unlimited amount to. You can borrow out of it at 0% interest, and you can use it to reinvest in other things. As well as I also, I tell people this, I co-own a fund, right? And this is as of June of this year, sorry, June of this year. But we're up 18.8% this year. Last year we finished up 36%. The year before was 40%. The year before that, the S&P was down 19% and we were up 19%. As a matter of fact, we have outperformed the S&P by over 110%, let's call it. Right? If you would have invested $250,000 with us at the inception, you would have $2.2 million in your bank now. That's after our fees and everything, versus 1,077,000. Now, this isn't for everybody. The funds aren't for everybody, but the other tools that I have can be for any and everybody. Okay. So I'm just going to do a real quick. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this link. And send this out. If you guys want to talk investments, if you guys want to talk protection, if you guys want to talk on my fund, about the fund as well, book some time with me. Okay. It'll be myself. You have my compatriot in here, my co-patriot, I should say, in here. Carrie Arnold, who will be in these appointments with me. Brent Birch will be in these appointments with me. All of us here truly believe in that, and we feel this is the next step to help everybody, right? There's a true reason for that. So we're going to get back to the trading in a second, but I wanted to send that link to you as well. And how was your trip? I was actually over in Ireland while you were on your trip as well, Van. So, and I go to Tampa quite often, so just let me know whenever, and we can make something work in person too. Now let's get into a couple others that we have time for. JOBY. Is that Joby or Joby? I wonder. Joby or Joby? Aviation company. I mean, talk about aviation. This took off my goodness. Goodness gracious, this thing was a human hurricane of movement, right? This was a human hurricane worth of movement here. And we saw, I mean, look, last week somebody brought this up. It was at $12 and 1191 last week, and now this shot up from 1191 to 1778, which is great. Should have stopped at 1776. Joby. Okay. And what we're looking at here, the reason why I say, hey, this is on my radar for a sell-off. This is one of those overboughts, gets a pullback. I think we may only pull back to like 13.90 to $14 right in here. Right in this area is where I think we pull back to in that, and then we'll see that next probably buying opportunity. So as long as they keep it up, it's doing what it's supposed to do. A couple others that I want to check in on. So this is one company I dipped my toe in the water here, and I'm telling you that now on Zoom. Okay, why Zoom, James? Well, you remember I've told you guys about there's that pattern that we've noticed with companies that have gone public is that what they do is they typically go. Let me see if I can get my other drawing tool open quickly because I hate the built-in Zoom one. Let's see. Oh, we'll get to that as well, Jerry. Don't you worry. I promise that. Okay. So there we go. Get my handy dandy drawing stick here. So companies that go public, right, they typically have this massive rally up. Then they have a sell off from profit taking. Then they have another rally up. Then they have a sell off because the insiders, the CEOs and marketing officers and directors can all sell. And then they typically, begin to tank. And when they tank, they stay that way sometimes for a year or two, sometimes for, 6 months, sometimes for a year or two. And we've seen Zoom, okay, since really July of 22 be in this, flat area here. And I'm just going to say a couple of things about Zoom. The first is I'm going to point to something. You guys tell me if you notice a pattern here. Beat earnings, 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 beat earnings. Do you see anything? Am I saying that? Is there anybody see a pattern with their earnings? Do they consistently beat earnings? Yes. Are they the new standard? Yes. Are they one of the best programs out there? Yes. They've added on email deliverability, text message alerts, all text messaging capability with A2P compliance. Like they are the headway, and they are head and shoulders above the competition here when it comes to technology. So we had, a couple of D extensions reached. But then we're sitting here, right? We have a 5-0 pullback on a fib. So we'd be looking to go up from 74 to 98. I'm in this as well right now. We see buyers have just taken control here. And if we look at Tyson's fib tool, right, and we go back enough and give him enough data. So his fib tool is showing us that we're in the blue zone. Let me reset my chart view. We're in the blue and we know we're going to buy up to red. So at least six or $7 in here, right? So even if we just came right here to this level of support and resistance, we're talking 74 to 80. So that's $5.15 as we are right now. So Zoom is one that I really like. You do your options on it, however you want to do it. Okay. And let's see. We did BITO. We did Zoom, Tesla, Uranium. This one. We're going to check out two more. We're going to check out Disney. And again, Disney is we're seeing the selling opportunity come in here. I'm thinking down into here into this 97. This is way overbought. Disney is way overbought. I'm telling you now. I would buy like a 6 month put on this or a 3 month put on this, but that is something that I would be in. And I see 92 in its future. Okay, that's 20 to 100. That's $29 in premium collected on this. But, timing is going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit. Absolutely will. I think their acquisition that they just made of Hulu, they made the final kind of acquisition of Hulu, while initially received rave reviews. They're probably going to see a little bit of downturn in the market in parks this year, and I think they're going to see just like what happened with their purchase of Warner Brothers and Fox. I think they're not going to see some bad returns on Hulu in the beginning because Hulu pricing is just out of this world absurd. So eventually, long term, Camtasia, I hope I said that right, is down to about 93-ish, 93.03. Short term, 106. Okay. These two boxes here, that's where I think it's going to go down into this area. And that's Disney. So we did Disney, we threw in Zoom, and let's do CAD Swiss. And then I will need to begin to wrap things up because I have another meeting that I go to on Sundays. CAD Swiss, buying power in control. We got the blue dot buy here. Tyson's fib thing says buy. Personally, I like that the buyers are in control and buying energy is more prevalent than anything. I also love that we got the blue dot here to that buy. So if we anticipate just a buy back up to support and resistance to 59,549, fantastic opportunity there. Right, fantastic opportunity there. Canada does have some announcements this week. Canada, the soon to be 51st state, right? Because they're for sale. Core retail sales out of Canada this coming Thursday. So if we see big drop in retail sales like they're anticipating, right, then CAD gets weaker. But if we have a positive retail sales, then CAD gets stronger, which kind of supports the CAD Swiss moving up. So, CAD Swiss, and somebody asked for a couple of unique ones earlier. Let's go. We'll take a look at Circle. Is it CRIC or CRIL? No, it is CRIC, right? CIRC, Circle. That's what it is, right? Okay, so Circle. No, this is not it. CRKL. What am I thinking of? CRKL. Ticker for stable. This is it. So what is their ticker symbol? I just saw it though. Right here. CRCL. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know why it copied price, but not a ton of data here on the daily chart, obviously. So we're going to drop it down to like a 4 hour chart or 1 hour chart right now. If we look at, just the 1 hour chart, obviously bullish tear, sold off, next bull run, then we're going to see it, the big downfall, right? So honestly, this probably will fall back into this 217 area. I honestly anticipate this to really fall for a while, probably get back into the 130s, maybe even the 100s, and it will do your typical new stock listing, right? That run up, sell off, run up, sell off, run up, sell off, flat. Okay. So I'm anticipating this being flat for a little while, which would also bring down Coinbase because what I don't know how if this went over or if people just don't know this or do know this, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you anyway that Coinbase has I think like a 30 or 50% revenue share with Circle, meaning Circle they pay Coinbase part of their revenue because they are a heavy investor in them. Now, will that payment processing be huge? Yes, they will change the game with payment processing. Coinbase, this rally is mainly due to all of that extra revenue from Circle. We st we still have buyers in control here. I think that Coinbase could pull back to 212, not anytime soon, but we do see that's right in that blue area for this bearish pullback. If we see sellers outpace on selling energy, outpace buying energy, then we know we will fall. Okay. So, Jerry, I think it goes up this week. Okay. I think it goes up this week. So with that, guys, I'm going to send out a couple of things one last time. If you want to book some time with myself or Brent or whomever, go ahead, book it on my calendar. I will reach out to you and then we will get you set up with myself and some others. Additionally, the Discord channel, I'll send that link out one more again. Create invite, copy. Here is the Discord channel again. If you have any questions at all, reach out, guys. This has been a pleasure. As always, I'm going to end this one with a question. Well, not fully end it with a question, but I am going to ask a question. Did you guys learn something today? Because that's my main thing. Okay. Did you guys learn something today? Yes or no? Did you take some value out of this? How about that? Did you take some value out of this? Um, well, look, I will be in a few different webinars this week. Looking forward to helping you guys this week. And again, book time with me on my calendar. Let's get together. Let's work on things. Let's work on your retirement plan. If you're interested in the fun, we can absolutely talk about that as well. And then, I'm going to wrap this up with I want to remind you that when it comes to getting everything you want in this life, make sure, make sure you have short steps and a long vision. Make sure you keep your eyes on that horizon because everything you want it's on the other side of everything that's so difficult. So have a good one, guys. Appreciate you all. Look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thank you so much.